welcome to Fleet Equipment from the floor, ACT Expo 2024, powered by Cummins. I'm Jason Morgan, Content Director for Fleet Equipment. We have a great show for you today. We're going to Volvo trucks. We're going to Mack trucks. We're going to Hino trucks. We're going to dive into regulations. We're going to figure out CARB, Advanced Clean Fleets. We're going to figure out EPA GHG Phase 3. But first, we're here with Amanda Phillips, Executive Director, North America On-Highway OEM Engine Sale with Cummins. Amanda, great to see you.
Hi, great to see you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, well, happy to be here. Okay, so we're here, ACT Expo. There's a lot of zero emissions talk, but I got to ask, what's the future of the internal combustion engine?
Yeah, I mean, I think it really has a long life. We've seen a lot of things change in the industry over the last 5 to 10 years, but one thing's for sure, it's not going away anytime soon. So it's important that Cummins is investing in the product and making sure that we have something that has longevity, so that we can really perform for the remainder of the life cycle of the ICE engine.
Right. Well, and you have a lot of new cool technologies. I know the X15N, the natural gas engine, we saw that out in the ride and drive earlier. We got the X15H, the hydrogen ICE, on display here. How do you view all this internal combustion engine technology through this decarbonization lens?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things we know about the North American market is that every application is different. And so one of the great things about Cummins is we're not picking one strategy for decarbonization. We're picking a lot of variations so that different markets can be served differently. So if you have access to hydrogen, we've got a product for you. If natural gas works better, we've got a product for you. And then just making the actual diesel version cleaner along the way. Because we can't do this in one major step. We've got to take baby steps along the way.
Right. An interesting note, your background was from Meritor, and the Cummins Meritor acquisition was like 2 years ago now, which seems like a lifetime. It seems like just yesterday. How was your experience at Meritor now coming over to the Cummins, working with the product lines? I know Meritor has had a long history with after-sales support and working with customers. How does that inform what you're doing with the Cummins powertrain?
Yeah, I think one of the great things about the acquisition is both Cummins and Meritor are really focused on the fleets, on the end customers. And so it's been a pretty seamless transition. And also we've been able to combine, engineering resources to figure out how do we integrate the products to get the most out of them. To me, it's been very positive.
Right, very good. Well, hey, thanks so much for taking the time. I appreciate it.
All right, thanks.
All right, we're going to go over to David Sickles, who caught up with Harmony Gates to take a deep dive into CARB, Advanced Clean Fleets regulations. Let's see what we can learn.
Hey there, we are with Harmony Gates. She is the Senior Director of Regulatory Compliance at GNA, a TRC company. Harmony, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, I'm glad to help you out here.
So we are here to talk about the fun part of being in compliance, and that is incentives. So can you kind of lay out for us, what are some of the incentives that the fleets who are investing in decarbonization technologies, what are some of these incentives that they can expect from CARB's Advanced Clean Fleets regulations?
That's a great question. So Advanced Clean Fleets is the regulation, and they don't provide the funding, but there are funding opportunities out there. And one of the best ones is related to infrastructure, because the rule does not have any impact on if you get funding for infrastructure. Whereas some of the funding programs for vehicles, if you get funding for vehicles, you have to figure out if it impacts your compliance calculations.
Okay.
So not every money that comes in for a vehicle can be used at the same time as counting for compliance. So it gets tricky. And but if it's for infrastructure, that doesn't tie in. So it's a great opportunity to get money for the moving into zero emission.
Absolutely, absolutely. And how can a fleet know if they are eligible for some of these incentives?
Yes, so a lot of the incentives, if it's for the vehicle, it's above and beyond the obligations of the regulation. So if you can do more than your timeline, then you can qualify for a lot of these programs. For infrastructure, it's just a matter of getting everything lined up and checking all the eligibility requirements and submitting all the proper paperwork in time.
Fantastic. And then are there any resources that fleets can go to help them understand more about this?
Yeah, there are so many funding opportunities. It's hard to keep track of them all and which ones qualify for compliance and which ones might interact with it. So with GNA, a TRC company, we are actually a funding group that can track over 600 funding incentives nationwide. So that helps, because then a company can come to us and say, well, this is what I operate, this is where I operate, and I want to know funding opportunities, and we can just, filter it down to exactly what they need.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. Well, hey, thank you so much. Really appreciate your time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jason, back to you.
That was a great deep dive in the CARB Advanced Clean Fleet, but now we're going to switch gears. We're going to talk EPA GHG Phase 3. We have Tom Swenson, Director of Global Regulatory Affairs at Cummins. Tom, thanks for taking the time.
I'm glad to join you.
Okay, we're going to dive into EPA GHG Phase 3. Okay. What are the incentives for fleets to comply with this? What do they have to do?
Well, the fleets actually don't have to do anything.
Okay.
The regulation is on the manufacturer of the engine, powertrain, vehicle side. So basically, the Phase 3 work builds on Phase 2, which may not mean much, but the overall goal is to reduce greenhouse gases. And so what they do is they take a vehicle level approach. So they take the engine, the aerodynamics, the powertrain, right, a comprehensive look at the vehicle, and they grade it, if you will, and they give it a score, a GHG score. And so in Phase 2, we've been down on this downward trajectory. The Phase 3 builds on that. So it's even more aggressive. It contemplates EV, hybrid, fuel cells, those sort of zero tailpipe emission technologies incorporated. Unlike California, though, it's a fuel neutral regulation. So we as industry get to sort of figure it out, be innovative, take risks, bring new technologies to the market, because we're looking to hit a goal, not a specific technology.
Well, you know, and don't sell yourself short on these phases, because I mean the technology that's coming out and the emissions you've reduced through these programs, I mean, it's phenomenal to think about how clean diesel engines are now. So from a fleet point of view, then, you're taking the responsibility on the manufacturer. What does it mean to me, and where will I see this in the equipment that I'm going to be buying here in the next couple of years?
So I think from a fleet perspective, you're going to see a lot more technology options. And this is really this evolution of technology. We've done tons, as you said, with the diesel engine, brought a lot of innovation, fuel economy, reliability, robustness. But we don't think we can meet all of the GHG requirements sticking with just diesel. So you'll see natural gas. You'll see hydrogen, probably both in combustion, which will be a new technology for folks. Building on our platform, fuel cells, and of course battery electric. We think hybrids probably have a pretty major role to play there too, right? Taking advantage of both technologies, sort of the best of both worlds, and applying them, right, to get really good reductions, while still providing that duty cycle performance that fleets demand.
Right. Well, and it's interesting. I mean, I know that we've talked about CARB and the Advanced Clean Fleets rule, and now the EPA GHG impacting that. This is really complicated stuff, and we're really looking at it from a broad view of, broad decarbonization. What resources are there for fleets to kind of help work through this, what it means to their equipment makeup, and how they navigate it?
Yeah, so a couple of resources that they're probably already familiar with. Their dealer, right? Whoever they're buying trucks from. We're all in this together as an industry, and so we're going to have those resources for fleets. Certainly Cummins, right? We have resources. There are some fleets that are reaching out to third-party consultants as well, that are looking for, well, how do I optimize my fleet? Phase 3 is not the only regulation sort of out there, right? And so fleets that I've talked to, they're confused. What do I do? How do I get there? Which rules apply to me? Can I go into certain states? When can I go in? And so they're hiring experts, if you will, that have done those deep dives at a consulting level to help them sort of figure out what's the path to compliance.
Right. Well, and I know talking with Cummins a lot this week too, that relationship's kind of shifting as well. Lots of consulting going on there and really taking that look at that fleet-wide level.
Yeah, we call it consultative sales. We don't sell anything direct. We're actually a really big supplier in a lot of ways. But we take a lot of pride and we put a lot of energy into providing our customers, our end user customers, with the best information. So equip them with the best information to make the best decision for their fleet.
Right. Tom, thanks for joining us. There have been a lot of announcements here at the show. Let's head out into the booths and see what's new.
At Volvo Trucks North America's booth, the company has joined forces with Volvo Financial Services to form Volvo On Demand, a truck-as-a-service business model designed to simplify the acquisition and reduce the upfront investment in battery electric vehicles. The program is launching in the U.S. in areas with a nearby Volvo Trucks certified electric vehicle dealership. Volvo Trucks also unveiled the Volvo VNL Autonomous, the company's first ever production-ready autonomous truck. Volvo Trucks partnered with Aurora to equip the truck with the Aurora Driver, an SAE L4 autonomous driving system, and the truck will be assembled at Volvo's flagship New River Valley plant in Dublin, Virginia. At the Stellantis booth, the OEM showed off its Ram ProMaster EV delivery van with a driver pocket door and a new rear roll-up door, which is available to order now. In late 2025, the company expects to also have a cargo van version available. The delivery van displayed offers a max payload of 3,020 pounds and up to 524 cubic feet of cargo space, as well as a 162-mile range. In the light-duty space, Stellantis showed off its Ram Rev chassis, built for the Ram 1500 Rev pickup truck debuting later this year. The Rev version comes with a 168 kilowatt-hour battery for up to 350 miles of range, and the Rev XL version comes with a 229 kilowatt-hour battery for up to 500 miles of range. Mack Trucks made several announcements during the show, starting with now offering the ability to integrate the Heil fully electric Rev Amp automated side loader with its LR Electric Class 8 battery electric vehicle as an option. Also, the company said its 2024 model year Mack MD Electric and LR Electric models qualify for the CARB Clean Truck and Bus Voucher incentive project. The OEM also announced that Mack now has 53 certified EV dealers in its network across 26 states, with another 36 in progress. At the Hino Trucks booth, the company introduced Turn, a new zero-emission truck brand launched in partnership with Hexagon Purus. The inaugural vehicle model, the RC8, is a Class 8 truck designed for the U.S. market, with Hino Trucks as the exclusive distributor. The RC8 has a gross vehicle weight rating of 68,000 pounds, targeting regional city duty cycles of approximately 200 miles. Built on Hino's XL Series 4x2 chassis, it integrates dual Hexagon Purus Gen 3 269 kilowatt-hour battery packs in a 750-volt, 538 kilowatt-hour configuration, and features Dana's 08 e-axle with battery cells from Panasonic Energy. Serial production for the RC8 is set to begin late this year.
The ACT Expo finish line is in sight. Joining me now is Mike Roth, Executive Director for the North American Council for Freight Efficiency, and Eric Neandros, President of GNA, a TRC company. Eric, Mike, thanks for taking the time. Fantastic show this year. I've learned a ton. There's been a lot to talk about. Want to get your guys' takes. Eric, we'll start with you. What were your big takeaways from the show this year?
So far, just unbelievable level of commitment across the board. We can see it here in the show floor. All the products, right, our OEMs, our traditional OEMs that have continued to innovate and elevate and bring more models and new models. We have lots of new startups here. Just continuous innovation and investment. That's been, I think, a big takeaway for me. And then the other one was our panel yesterday with the end users, that they're just so committed to this pathway of getting to net zero carbon and sustainable transportation. Those two pieces of the puzzle are critical, right? You have the buyer-seller alignment saying we're going down this path together. We don't really exactly know how this is all going to work, but we're committed and we're doing it. So that, to me, is, I think, my big takeaway.
All right, very cool. Mike, what's your take?
Well, I think I've been to every ACT Expo, and it's always been a way to look at sort of what's coming in the future. I mean, this is different. There's what I said to somebody, a nervous anxiety here at ACT Expo, because it's become real. Yeah. We're in this transformation, whether it's zero emission or alternatives or autonomous. I mean, we're in it. And so there's a lot of folks that are, there's big risk, big reward in making choices about adoption of these technologies, right now. And so that's exciting. It's a little scary or overwhelming for a lot of attendees, but the collaboration that Eric just talked about, I think is what will pull us all through. It's working together and really some kind of strange partners that have teamed up And that's very good because they can't do it by themselves.
Right. Well, and I think the industry was calling for more solutions to get toward decarbonization, sustainability, and to your point, I feel like at this show, we got them. There's no shortage of solutions, right? So, Mike, we'll start with you here. As fleets head out into the world, they saw a lot here at ACT Expo. How do they navigate what solutions are going to be right for them?
My first advice would be, just don't have deer in the headlights, right? I mean, there's a lot to think about here. And what we always say to fleets, the first step is understand your business. So even before you come to an event like this, or once you're here, what's your business? And then evaluate all these different technologies and these solutions with what you need. Because it's quite easy to kind of get excited about technologies and maybe then go investigate them or start with them that might not be appropriate for you. And so that's the biggest mistake you can kind of make. So look for the ones that make sense. Really look in the eyes of the people that are talking about it. Is it something that's available now or something that's coming? And then do with that. But it's a time for action. I mean, there's whether you're an early adopter or a later one, there's things you can do now to help that process.
Right. Eric, what do you think?
Well, the easy answer is, of course, start by coming to ACT Expo.
That's right. You learn a lot.
But in all seriousness, come here and talk to the suppliers, talk to the Penskes, talk to the OEMs, talk to the fleets that are on the panels, right? They've been there, done it. They've been working on this for several years. They've got a lot to offer. And I think one of the things I love about ACT Expo and really the industry more broadly is this willingness to share, right? We're not in this competitive marketplace where I need to keep my secrets to me and I'm not going to tell you. We all realize that this is the sort of first inning and we need to elevate everything that we're doing. And so there's a huge willingness to share. And I think this is a great place to do it. It's not the only place to do it. There's a lot of other places, but in all seriousness, come to an ACT Expo and just start asking questions. And then beyond that, to me, I talked about that this afternoon in my introduction to ARD at Penske. Learn by doing. Start doing something. Right. You don't need to buy 100 trucks. You can just buy one or two, or maybe rent them or lease them, or pilot, demo, whatever. Just start doing some things. And I agree with Mike. Make sure you understand your business, what's going to be the right fit, and that's that first piece. But then once you have that, just get into it. Right. That might not be the be all end all your final solution, but you're going to learn a lot. You're going to learn about your operations, how you operate, what works, and then your journey just kind of goes from there, for sure. Right,
yeah, definitely. All right, Mike, what's next for NACFE? Anything coming up that you can share?
Well, I'm going to take a little rest after this week, but this really emboldens us to do what we got planned, because NACFE is all about, we've been at it 15 years now, and we're all about helping with the challenges and the benefits and being all transparent about what works and doesn't work. So we're really working on three things right now. One is the battery electric for urban, and what we mean by that is step vans and medium duty and short haul, and really helping the industry move through that piece. And then all the alternatives. So we're not just going to zero emission. We've got all these other exciting things, RNG and renewable diesel and all those sort of things. So we're going to be opening up some new work there. And then finally is what's going to happen with medium and long haul, whether it's return to base or regular routes. And there's a lot of questions there around hydrogen engines, hydrogen fuel cell, battery electric, fast charging. I mean, we've seen some really promising pieces in all of those. But there's a lot of people that are really sure of how heavy duty and long haul is going. I don't think we know. And this show has helped think about that, but we still don't know, what's going to. So NACFE is going to continue to work in that space.
Yeah. Sounds like a lot to talk about in ACT Expos to come. Congratulations on a fantastic show this year. Anything we have to look forward to in 2025?
Well, I've got a few ideas that have come out of the sessions. So you'll just have to come and check it out in 2025.
Appreciate it. We will definitely be there.
We'll see you there.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
That's a wrap on Fleet Equipment from the Floor, ACT Expo 2024, powered by Cummins. I'm Jason Morgan, Content Director of Fleet Equipment. Huge thanks to everyone that took the time to talk with us. Huge thanks to Cummins, and a huge thanks to you all for clicking and watching. We appreciate it. We'll see you next year.